Good music, good fun. The name says it all on the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour this Monday with special guests Dinah Shore and Tony Curtis. That's at 10 on CBS.
I talked with Alexander Hamilton today. He said, Ben, California Federal has high-paying jobs for money in their money-maker savings accounts. So, California Federal, here I come.
The money you can't afford to risk belongs at California Federal Savings, the nation's largest federal.
Where did you get this meat?
Next time, try a little tenderness and serve only USDA choice beef from Safeway.
All Safeway stores are open today, New Year's Day. Happy New Year from KNXT Channel 2.
I think the Cotton Bowl game for Penn State this year is as big a football game as we've ever been involved in. I think playing a great team like Texas, where we've had some difficulties in convincing the people in Texas that we do play good football up our way is a very challenging situation for us.
We know that in playing Penn State University, we're playing one of the nation's better football teams. They're a team that's rich in tradition and history, and they've had a phenomenal record the last 5-6 years, and for us to have a chance to play them and match what we think is a spectacular record against theirs is really quite an honor.
Texas is the first team to ever run the wishbone, and they're the best at it, and it's going to be a great challenge for me and for the defensive unit to see if we can stop it.
This game to me is a matter of pride. We have had kind of an off season compared to our last 2 years, and the boys have made a great comeback these last few weeks of the season, and to win this game is going to really finish off a good season, and a win over a fine Penn State team will make it a great season.
CBS Television Sports presents the 36th Annual Cotton Bowl Classic from Dallas, Texas. Today, the Nittany Lions of Penn State meet the Longhorns of Texas. Brought to you by Texaco, makers of gasolines and automotive products you can trust. And by Goodyear, the only makers of long-wearing polyglass tires. And by the 1972 Buick, something to believe in. Executive producer, William Fitz. Producer, Howard Rife Snyder. Director, Sandy Grossman. Associate producer, Nevin Lyerly. In Dallas, Texas, at the world-famous Cotton Bowl on New Year's Day, Happy New Year from CBS Television Sports. It's a cloudy afternoon, a 36th annual Cotton Bowl game, the Longhorns of Texas, the Nittany Lions of Penn State. Hello, everybody. At the end of the third quarter at the Cotton Bowl, with the score Penn State 20, Texas 6. We now pause for station.
Ted Bessel competes with the rambunctious ape in a riotous new comedy, Me and the Chimp, coming 1 week from Thursday on CBS.
In case you're a little confused about car prices these days, we at Toyota want you to know that our prices are still like our cars, small. The manufacturer's suggested retail price on this Corolla 1200 sedan is only $19.56, not including the usual freight, local taxes, dealer prep, and options. And that's not $19.56 stripped. That's $19.56 for a lot of car.
See your nearby Toyota dealer and get your hands on a Toyota. You'll never let go.
One reason why you may want to consider mutual funds today, tomorrow. The Oppenheimer Fund is a mutual fund in which the management takes what it considers prudent risks in an effort to make your money grow.
Laura Scudder's potato chips taste so good that sometimes you just can't wait to have lunch.
Happy New Year from KNXT Channel 2.
Our feature presentation on the Hughes Sports Network.
Camaro for 72. It combines the practicality of a back seat with the roadability of a sports car. Chevrolet wants your new Camaro to be the best car you ever owned.
Chevrolet, building a better way.
Chevrolet, building a better way to see the USA.
High school basketball game of the week with Ross Porter and Tom Hawkins.
Troy versus La Habra next Saturday afternoon at 2. An East Los Angeles boy needs you for his big brother. Call East Los Angeles Big Brothers 264-1313.
The following NBC sports program is brought to you in living color.
Pasadena, California. The early morning sun hitting the famed Rose Bowl. And here about 28 minutes before kickoff time, it's nearly full. Outside, they're still moving in. There will be 103,000 fans for the Rose Bowl game of 1972. Undefeated, untied Michigan against the Pacific 8 champs, Stanford University. NBC Sports, a service of NBC News, presents a look at the 58th annual Rose Bowl game. Brought to you by Gillette, makers of Platinum Plus, with platinum smooth edges for smoother shaves. You'll feel the difference. The San Gabriel Mountains have been brushed with snow. We have a perfect day for football. Kurt Gowdy, Al DeRogatis, we wish you all a very happy New Year on behalf of NBC Sports. What does it feel like to play in a Rose Bowl? Second time in 3 years they've been back to the Rose Bowl, capturing the Big Ten crown. And as we watch them on film, awesome is the word for their ground game and their defense. Let's look at some of the highlights.
Michigan had plenty to cheer about this year. Their coach, Bo Schembechler, has lost only 4 games now in his first 3 years at the school. He has one of the top running backs in America in Billy Taylor. Billy Taylor has set the all-time career rushing record for University of Michigan, 2,990 yards for his career. And he started only the last 5 games of his sophomore season. He beat out the great Tom Harmon and Ron Johnson. Taylor scored 13 touchdowns this past year, averaged 5.5 yards every time he carried the ball. Almost impossible for one man to stop him. In their strong running game, Michigan came up with an outstanding sophomore fullback in Ed Shuttlesworth, who gained over 800 yards during the season. Watch him the next 2 years. Shuttlesworth is backed up by a senior fullback, Fritz Seifer, who's dangerous around the goal line. Tom Slade started the last 7 games as sophomore quarterback. Showing here to Glenn Dowdy, a double threat wingback, a threat as a runner and a receiver. Michigan is truly excellent on defense. They're answered by their middle linebacker, Mike Taylor, who made all the All-American teams. And an All-American safety man in Tom Garden, who averaged over 10 yards a punt return, and is called the hardest-hitting defensive player on the Wolverine squad. 17.
January 1 is a happy day, but when you're playing against an awesome football team like Michigan, it isn't too happy. Bill Taylor, 42, Ed Shuttlesworth, great runners and outstanding blockers. 69 rushing plays in a game, tough to beat. We'll be back with more about today's Rose Bowl game in just a moment.
This is a revolutionary new shaving system from Gillette. To shave you close, we put in our finest blade. And then, to shave you even closer, we put in another one. Gillette introduces the world's first razor with 2 separate blades, the new Gillette Track 2. 2 blades. To get whisker, 1 blade could miss. The new Gillette Track 2 twin blade shaving system. It's 1 blade better than whatever you're using now.
Oh, yes. Yes, my antiperspirant works when everything's going okay. But when I'm a nervous wreck, nothing seems to keep me dry.
If your antiperspirant doesn't do what you hired it to, fire yours and hire ours. Right Guard Antiperspirant. Get the drying agent that really helps keep you dry. Stops odor, too.
But I'm what you call a heavy perspirer. I perspire in the wintertime.
Then fire yours and hire ours. Ours is Right Guard.
Against a team that can pass like Stanford, it really makes for exciting football. We'll be back with more about today's Rose Bowl game in just a moment.
You know what makes shaving such a pain? Going over and over, against the grain, can irritate. So Gillette introduces Face Saver. It softens like a foam, protects like a gel. New Face Saver actually leaves lubricating protection so you can even shave against the grain with less irritation. New Face Saver softens like a foam, protects like a gel.
Excuse me, I'm from Gillette.
Oh, yeah, for TV. Dick Jones.
I've switched to Gillette Platinum Plus.
I've switched
Perfect.
to...
How about you, sir?
Oh, I haven't tried Gillette Platinum Plus. All the blades are alike.
Oh, most of the guys I know can feel the difference. You get a smoother shave.
Are you sure? I'm positive.
Sure, Gillette Platinum Plus double-edger injector have platinum smooth edges for smoother shaves. Try them.
Yeah, see if you don't feel the difference.
Are you sure I'll feel the difference?
Did I call the game?
I'll feel the difference.
Happy New Year from NBC. Get ready now as undefeated Michigan takes on Stanford in the Rose Bowl game next on NBC. Then later today, watch Nebraska versus Alabama in the Orange Bowl game later today on NBC.
At Glendale Federal Savings, when we help you with a home loan, we don't just lend you the money and let it go at that. No, along with your realtor, we see to it that everything is handled in the best possible way for you. And since right now is a good time to get a home loan, you should check with us first. Glendale Federal Savings. We won't give you any trouble, and we won't let you get into any on your own either.
As soon as the 7% excise tax was removed, Ed Butler decided to get rid of his old car and find himself a bargain. So he got himself a good deal on his old Volkswagen and picked up a new car with great gas mileage, the same great reliability, but no excise tax. Which only goes to prove that a Volkswagen saves you money going or coming. Sedan 111 suggested retail price, POE, local taxes and other. Dealer delivery charges, if any, additional.
Only Western Airlines gives first-class leg space to every coach passenger.
KNBC-4 Los Angeles.
Hi, I'm Margolyn Johnson, Rose Queen, here to welcome you to the 1972 Rose Bowl game. NBC Sports and the Pasadena Tournament of Roses takes this opportunity to welcome you and wish you a Happy New Year.
NBC Sports presents the 1972 Rose Bowl game, featuring the Wolverines of the University of Michigan versus the Indians of Stanford University from Pasadena, California. Brought to you by Goodyear, the only makers of long-wearing polyglass tires. By Texaco. Trust Texaco to have the right gasoline for you. And by Chrysler Corporation, Extra Care and Engineering. Your host today, your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer. And what a beautiful setting this Rose Bowl always is. And back the famed stadium here in Pasadena, California, the San Gabriel Mountains. They've been tipped with snow the last couple of weeks, Actually, the weather's been horrible out here until Wednesday with torrential rains, 7 inches of rains that forced both teams away from their practice sites, and they were concerned about the playing field. The playing field, though, has dried out. It's going to be in perfect condition for today's game, and the temperature will be pushing 70 degrees. Happy New Year again to you. Kurt Gowdy to call the play-by-play, Al DeRogatis to analyze the game. An interesting matchup, almost the same setup as we had last year, except a different Big Ten team. Ohio State was heavily favored last year. They were undefeated, untied, and they were dumped by Stanford, led by Jim Plunkett. Stanford is the team they say cannot win the little ones. They always win the big ones, but they have trouble beating opponents that they're supposed to handle easily. It's a ball control type of Michigan team against Stanford, which we think will have to come out here today and pull just about everything the way they did last year. But let's talk more about some of the personnel of today's game with Al DeRogatis.
Kurt, there are really some very, very outstanding people. Bill Taylor, one of the very best runners in the country. Watch for him, number 42. Ed Shuttlesworth, 31, a huge sophomore, should be an All-American. Glenn Dowdy, 22. These are all Michigan players and all very, very good. Mike Taylor on defense, a true All-American. He's the linebacker, 33. Keep your eye on him. Don Bunce, a super football player, and some say he can do maybe more things than Jim Plunkett. John Winesbury for Stanford, outstanding receiver. Kurt, exciting football. It's got to be.
All right, and right now, down on the playing surface, the Stanford University Marching Band under the direction of Dr. Arthur P. Barnes. Now the band is playing in antique cars. Coming in as the president of the Rose Bowl and the Grand Marshal. The Grand Marshal this year is Lawrence Welk. The theme of the Rose Bowl parade and the Tournament of Roses, the joy of music. Grand Marshal Lawrence Welk. Tournament of Roses president is Virgil J. White. The queen this year is Margot Lynn Johnson. Margot Lynn Johnson, the queen, along with the 6 princesses that attend her. Those are 1,902 automobiles, a 1, a 2, a 3. Didn't have his baton today, had it yesterday at the Rose Bowl luncheon, the kickoff luncheon.
Missing in action and their families. Please stand and listen as Dr. Arthur P. Barnes, musical director of the Stanford.
That's the Stanford band on the field. We're having a battle of bands today of contrasting styles. Michigan, the precision marching band, while the Stanford band really goes to more of the mod ad-lib routine. Right now, they're ready for the national anthem. States Air Force F-4 Phantom jets. They're honoring nearly 1,600 Americans who are prisoners of war and missing in action in Southeast Asia. 4 of those missing are Stanford alumni, and 5 are graduates of the University of Michigan. So the aerial salute, a tribute to all our men who are prisoners of war, missing in action, and their families. Now we're going to meet some of the outstanding players of this Rose Bowl game, and we're introducing them. We shot these films right on the campuses of Stanford and Michigan. Stanford University, established in 1885. Michigan was concerned about the playing surface of this field with the heavy rains up until Wednesday because of Stanford's passing game, figuring that the defenders in the secondary of Michigan, split second behind and knowing what was going to happen, might have trouble staying up with the Stanford receiver. They had blowers on the field. The temperature is pushing 70 degrees, a little breeze blowing from the goal on your right, so it is just a perfect weather day here for the 50th golden anniversary of the Rose Bowl Stadium. Michigan and Stanford will be ready for the opening kickoff. We'll be right back for the start of the 1972 Rose Bowl game.
If you ever suffer from acid indigestion, this little tablet contains one of the most effective medicines ever discovered for it. In tests at a famous college, it proved to neutralize excess acid in a matter of seconds. Prepared for a little shock, it's Tums, now in 5 flavors. It'll make your stomach feel better now.
We're going to have the toss of the coin now. The co-captains for the University of Michigan will be number 53, their offensive center, Murdoch, and their Wolfman, or their rover on defense, will be Frank Gussick, number 14. Don Bunce, number 11, the Stanford quarterback. Jackie Brown, their running back, 33. And Jeff Seaman, their All-American linebacker, number 92, are the Stanford co-captains. The officials assigned to today's game, the referee will be Jerry Markbrett. The head linesman is John Olson. They're both from the Big Ten. The umpire is Leslie Bruckner of the Pacific 8. The field judge is John Jones of the Pacific 8. The back judge, William Quimby of the Big Ten. Let's watch the flip. Stanford has won the toss. Now they give Michigan a choice of the remaining option, which goal. Let's see what they're going to do. Stanford's going to be on your left. They're going to be in the white today. And incidentally, Michigan will kick off from your right. Stanford have the choice of jerseys. Usually the white uniform is the road uniform, but they chose white today because they beat Ohio State in white suits last year. So we're going to now pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
KNBC-4, Los Angeles.
Kurt Gowdy and L.D. Rogatis back with you in Pasadena. Neither team is out on the field yet. They're a little bit late. Now here comes Michigan, led by the Michigan cheerleaders. And Stanford coming on across the way. Well, they're both ready. Really something, Al, the way a bunch of men get so emotionally aroused right before that kickoff.
Kurt, without a doubt, there was a little emotional byplay there. The Stanford team was waiting for Michigan to come out first. Michigan comes out first, Stanford then comes out, and an overwhelming roar. Both teams highly emotional, both teams very excited, Kurt. This is a big quarter for Stanford, the first one. They've got to do something in the first quarter.
Stanford has had trouble in their first quarter. Second quarter has been their best scoring quarter. Michigan has scored best in their fourth period. Bo Schembechler has 2 fetishes: physical conditioning and strict discipline. That's Tom Slade now getting warmed up. Number 17, he'll be the sophomore quarterback when Michigan gets the ball that you'll be watching. Breaking out now. Don Bunce warming his arm up. Reggie Sanderson, 32, will be one of the kickoff return men. And on that kickoff team for Michigan will be Darden, Gussett, Steger, Bruce Elliott, Dana Coyne will be the kicker, Key, Sexton, Logan, Zuccarelli, Eaton, and Dave Elliott. 2 Elliott brothers on the kickoff team, sons of former Michigan football star Pete Elliott, who now is assistant athletic director at the University of Miami in Florida. Miles Moore's in the middle. He's a dangerous man in the kickoff returns. Miles Moore, the wide receiver, takes it on the 6. Here's a fake reverse, and he's dumped. He faked it off to Winesbury. A wobbly spiral, a fair catch called, and a fumble. Who's got it?